The first temple for God. We know that King David, he was the king of Israel for 34 years, but he was fighting all the time. His hands were not clean. And to be honest with you, this guy loves women. He sent their husbands to fight knowing that none of them will come back. So he was not kosher, let's put it this way. So the prophet Nathan said, you're not going to build a temple, but your son will build a temple. And really the first Jewish temple was between the Golden Dome and this dark dome all the way here. So this is the area of the first temple. First temple is 960 before Christ. The first temple was destroyed by the Babylons, rebuilt again by King Herod the Great. And King Herod, he tried to please the Jews. And what we can see now from the Western Wall, it's exactly 84 meters or 230 feet. But let me tell you, the Western Wall goes another 500 meters, 1,500 feet under the Muslims part of the city. Because when the Islam came here in the 7th century, they took the Western Wall to build homes. So for them the meanings was not so special. The opposite was a very solid, look at those rocks. They said this is going to be a wonderful house. No one will destroy that hole. So they used that actually as a wall when they build their homes. And this section, where we're going to go now, by the way, I don't know if you know, but most of the stations, they are in the Muslims part of the city, Station of the Cross. Now, so when we're talking about Jerusalem, it's very, why the Jews wants to pray here by the Western Wall? Why not to pray in the Southern Wall? Because if you pray here, you're very close to the holies of holies. So this is where the Jewish temple was. This is where they keep the Torah, the Talmud, the Gemara, the Mishnah right here. So this is why the Western Wall became so famous.
Why is it called Wailing Wall?
Wailing Wall because sometimes when they come and they pray and they cry because the temple was destroyed, so the nickname is the Wailing Wall. But we're talking about the same thing. Now, Islam came here in the 7th century, and look what happened. They built the Golden Dome, and they built the Mosque of al-Aqsa. Look at me, please. On the top of the Jewish temple.
Wow.
So actually the Jews have the lower level and the Muslims have the top. Now, this is from the last 1,350 years. We like to keep it this way. Let them have the top because according to the Islam, their prophet Muhammad was ascended to heaven from the Golden Dome and he brought the holiest book for the Islam known by the name of Quran. And according to the Muslims, Muhammad rode a horse named al-Burāq from Mecca to Medina to al-Aqsa, to Jerusalem. And he was ascended to heaven from here. So it's very complicated, but I want to tell you something else. You're looking at now more than 99% that we have problems that we have in the Middle East, they're right here. Right here. Because if we're going to solve the problems here, I mean, a Palestinian state will be a piece of cake. Because one, actually the disagreement. Our neighbor wants to build a Palestinian state, excuse me, in the Gaza Strip and also in the West Bank. But where they want to build the capital of the Palestinian state?
In Jerusalem.
In the east side of Jerusalem. And to be honest with you, I don't see those guys going to give up. I don't see that happening.
But this used to be part of Jordan before, right? Like 50 years ago.
Until 1948, Jews, Muslims, Christians, Armenians, also Christians, they all share the old city. Israel was born May 14, 1948. 5 Arab countries said, hold it. It's only 600,000 Jews in this area. Let's wipe them out. And we're going to have the entire land. Who cares about United Nations? United Nations came up with a brilliant idea. They said that Jerusalem will be international. It means you're Jewish, you can come and pray here. You're Christian, you go to the church where we're going now. You're Muslims, you can go up to pray The Muslims leader says no way. Jewish leaders, by the way, I don't know if you heard about David Ben Gurion, the first prime minister. He accepted. Golda Meir said no problem, we share that land, the city. The Muslims didn't want to. So what happened, answering your question, the Jordanians kicked the Jews out in 1948. They took over the old city. What happened in 1967? The Jews moved back to the old city. So if you ask the Jews what happened in 1967, they will tell you we moved back to the old city. But if you ask the Muslims what happened in 1967 in the old city, the Muslims will tell you the Jews occupied the east side. And we both right. I'm not telling you who's right and who's wrong. It's not my business. My business to tell you, yes, this was part of Jordan until 1967, but the Jews never get a chance to go to pray. And this is, by the way, the Jews don't have a chance to pray on the top even now.
Wow.
If a Jewish man will go to the Temple Mount with the book, 1,000 women will yell and scream Allahu Akbar, and the police, the Israeli police, will put him in jail because the Jews are not allowed to pray up there, only in the lower level.
Wow.
Why? Because this is what the Muslims want.
It's politics, you know.
It's a religion, it's not exactly true. Anyway, any questions, please? Welcome to the Middle East.
Other than Muslim or Jewish.